When it comes to making meaningful change in your life, do you focus more on the outcome and the goal, or do you focus more on the process and the systems to get you closer to that goal? If you have not read James Clear Atomic Habits, it's a great book that's been out for many, many years. And one of the quotes that we keep coming back to in the work that we do with organizations and teams and individuals is something he says when he writes that we do not rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. And there's a saying that we've had in coaching for a long, long time that you cannot take a changed person and put them in an unchanged environment and expect things to be different. So what tends to happen is we have this goal for ourselves, for our organization, and we get really focused on it. And then we get impatient when we don't see progress or when there's a setback, even though we know that there's not a linear path to any kind of outcome. It's squiggles and detours. It's one step forward, two steps back, especially when we're dealing with adaptive challenges, those messy, hard things that we have to go through. That is the majority of what we face in today's day and age. Instead, we want to think about the process. So, are we building habits bit by bit until that memory muscle kicks in? In our organizations, do we have systems in place that reward and nurture and reinforce the types of behaviors we want to see that have us aligned with our purpose, our goals, our values? Same thing for us as individuals, or do we leave things to chance? And so I will be working with some leaders and they will say, well, they feel bad if they have to have a cheat sheet, or they feel bad if they have to put stuff on their calendar. That's not being inept. That's not being weak. That is being smart. It is creating systems. So for me, I live and die by my calendar. So if I don't put check in with so and so, or do this, or read this, or follow up on that, I'm relying off of memory, which isn't always reliable, and things will get messed. And so that's one of the systems I use. I have reminders elsewhere. I have a word of the year intention that I set, various things that help remind me to show up as the version of me that I want, that help me reset when my habits that don't serve me well get in the way. And we rely on our memory, we rely on our good faith, and that doesn't work. We have to focus on the systems. We have to focus on the process along the way and let the journey be more important than the outcome. It doesn't mean outcomes don't matter. It doesn't mean that they can't be a nice guidepost to motivate us or to energize us. But we have to focus more on along the way because there's so much richness in the journey, missteps and all. So that is my invitation and my challenge to you this week is to look at the systems, look at the processes you have in place and nurture those and see what happens. I would love to hear what does. And remember, when we create systems that work for us, we have a greater opportunity to let more of our sparkle shine brightly.